There's the Touchstones. Again, give us a call. We appreciate you being with us very much. Again, on Facebook Live on AM 790 WETV. Caller number 2, light us up. Why would you not? Get qualified. Again, caller number 2 on this go-around, 929-7900. Ben said I gave out the number before the break and the phone started ringing. So, again, this is about a $200 value, by the way. We'll give it away on February the 17th. And so, light us up and give us a call, 929-7900. Caller 2 will get you qualified and get you ready to go again to go to the Barter Theater when you want to, at the show you want to go to and the show you want to see. And plus, we're going to feed you at the Rain Restaurant in Abington, all compliments of Dr. Barry Walton from Max Medicine Mart. Speaking of, Solgar is 20% off the month of January at Max Medicine Mart in downtown Kingsport. Again, Solgar has that B12, the vitamin B12 that melts under your tongue. You can't beat that. Some folks have difficulty swallowing, so these particular vitamins, the vitamin B12, will melt under your tongue. Also, the Formula V, the multivitamin, 20% off. Also, the standardized herbs, the celerium, the oregano, the bilberry, the olive leaf, all that. Again, every standardized herb they've got under the umbrella of Max Medicine Mart. Solgar is 20% off for the month of January. There are no limits. No, go in once and don't go back in again. That's not it at all. You can go in as many times as you want, which I think is really, really cool. You can go in today and save 20%. You can go back in tomorrow and save 20%. Obviously, you don't have a lot of time left. Got about 8 days left to shop, again, at Max Medicine Mart until the end of the month. But everything Solgar is 20% off. Then if you're looking for candy for the Day of Love, Russell Stover candy. They've got them starting ever from down as low as $4.99 all the way up to $19.99, whatever you're looking for. Also, they've got the Gund, G-U-N-D, stuffed bears and animals that a lot of folks, a lot of ladies and little people like stuffed animals for Valentine's Day. They've got those as well at Max Medicine Mart. The Willow Tree Angels, they've got the one we showed you last week. We were there broadcasting live called Lots of Love. It's for $20. They've got that. So they sell a lot of Willow Tree Angel products as well. And so all that, if you're looking for Valentine's Day goodies right now, you've got inside of a month to make that happen, of course. And you can get the cards, anything you want, really. The one-stop shop, the candy, the cards. They got a great line of gifts with Willow Tree Angels, all that at Max Medicine Mart on Center Street in Kingsport. Make tracks to Max, and you do. And we appreciate that very, very much. Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, we're live at Brumit Sports on this Monday, broadcasting live. Again, we've got a college basketball segment coming up here in just a few minutes, and we will tell you all about that. And it's got a lot of hoops. The Lady Vols get a big win yesterday. The Bucks men's team get a big win. Also, we've got college basketball both yesterday. Not much yesterday in top 25. Everybody played on Saturday. We have a couple of games, and then we got a couple of games tonight, too. So, tell you all about that coming up here in just a few minutes here on the show. Ben Foy, who do we get qualified, my friend? Bill Lister from Gray called in. Now, remember, it's one call per household. I think we told you that before. So, one call per household. So, going forward, we want to make sure everybody knows that, so make it fair to everybody. One call per household, please. That way, we'll get a lot of folks get in and get a chance to win. And so, congratulations to Bill Lister. And so, that's he's in. I mean, you can't beat that with a big stick. I wish I was on the other end. Wish I could win this because I've been to the Barter Theater. I've not been to the Rain Restaurant, but if Dr. Walton says it's good, he goes there all the time with his wife. And if he says it's good enough for me. But I would love to be able to go win this, but I can't. But you can. So when you hear the Touchstones, get ready to call and do that here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We'll take a quick break, come right back. We'll take a look at Major League Baseball. A couple of tragedies over the weekend. Very sad stories I have to report to you. A couple of young men lost their lives, and they were promising, you know, and that sounds kind of callous, whether promising or not, they lost their lives, and there's family members mourning their loss, whether they were hotshot baseball players or not so good baseball players. They were still people first. And so 2 young men tragically lost their lives over the weekend. We're going to tell you all about that, who that was. And also, we got a segment of college basketball coming up as well. And also, we'll talk with NASCAR, get Ben involved here, the NASCAR Hall of Fame induction a little bit later on. And we will hear from a legendary driver, Mark Martin, and also from Richard Childress. And it's pretty cool because, you know, Mark Martin was such a competitor. And we're going to find out what drove him. I think that's pretty cool. And also from Richard Childress, going to hear yet another story about he and the relationship of the late Dylan Hart Sr. So pretty cool stuff. They were both inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame over the weekend, and we'll talk more about that coming up towards a little bit later in the show. We're live at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabeth, and we'll take a break. We'll be right back, and we'll talk baseball here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on Facebook Live on AM 790 WETB. I know one thing, I spend way too much time. Really? I spend way too much time monkeying this phone. I can tell you that. I'm going to fix this. It's like every day I got to move it and move it around. And hello, Facebook Live. I know I'm trying to get you the best perch to do this show with, but it ain't working. So I'm going to just hold it for a while. How about that? That'll have to work. There you go. I got it, but it's just not. It's a light thing again. The lighting is not good. I mean, it's good. It just keeps seeing the ballast up here above me. So what I need is an elevated tripod like that. And I don't have a tripod like that right now, but I'm going to get a tripod like that right now soon. So we'll get Jeremiah Clark on this from Appalachian Digital. He's my techie. Yeah. All right. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us live again at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabeth on this Monday, January the 23rd. By the way, if you're interested in the countdown to Christmas, most aren't, but 345 days to Christmas. Is that right? I think that's right. So, yeah, 345 to Christmas. And again, our show today, show number 442. And we certainly thank you for that. Ben Foy, what's our current, we got rain outside. What's the current temperature? And what is the, run back out again one more time, please, sir, the forecast of what's going on. Wow. So we're going to drop about 20 degrees, is what you're telling me?
Yeah, from Wednesday to Thursday, highs will go about 20 degrees.
There you go. But still, we can live with what we got because, or at least I can. No snow, no freezing rain, no ice pellets, none of that garbage going on. So, no. Don't say not yet. Just say, no, it's not going to happen, Tom. Spring is sprung. There you go. In fact, I was looking at the apple trees in the backyard, and they're kind of. We don't want that to happen. They're starting to swell up a little bit. Don't want them budding out. It's too soon for that. But
I'm going to bust you bubble for Saturday. It's going to be 41 for a high, 27 for a low, and mostly cloudy with flurries.
Hello? I didn't hear a thing. Hello? Are you there? I didn't hear a thing. Did not hear a thing. I didn't hear any bad weather forecast. I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, it is what it is. On a sad note of baseball, Dominican Republic, Kansas City Royals pitcher Yordano Ventura and former Major Leaguer Andy Marte died in separate traffic accidents early Sunday in the Dominican Republic. Again, you have, of course, Ventura, 25, burst onto the baseball scene with a 100-mile-per-hour fastball, and a fierce competitor, always willing to challenge hitters inside, run them inside on them a lot, then deal with the ramifications when they decided to charge the mound, and they did. This guy would kind of brush your back, and he kind of painted the corners pretty tight on the inside, in particular to all the batters. Went 14-10 with a 3.20 ERA in 2014, his first full season in the big leagues, and the next year he helped the downtrodden Royals reached the World Series for the first time since 1985. And so he proceeded to dominate San Francisco in both of his starts. Of course, the Royals lost in 7 games to the Giants. This kid had a big series, good series, and they were counting on him. Again, he loses his life in a traffic wreck or traffic accident. The car he was driving hit a house along a road in the Dominican Republic. So apparently no one was in the home at the time. It was foggy conditions. Anyway, Jordana Ventura, gone at the age of 25 of the Royals. Also, the second young star pitcher to die in the past 4 months, Marlins ace Jose Fernandez, only 24, and he was killed along with 2 others in a boating accident near Miami Beach in late September. Also, yesterday, former Major League infielder Andy Marte died in a separate car accident in the Dominican Republic. And so Ventura, by the way, will be buried in the Dominican Republic tomorrow. And so that's, again, Marte, 33-year-old young man, played his final game in the big leagues for Arizona back in 2014. So you lose 2 over the weekend. You don't want to lose any, but you lose 2, and it's very, very tragic for those 2 young men, again, Ventura and Marte from the Dominican Republic, losing their lives in again, automobile accidents in their native country of the Dominican Republic. Tom Taylor Sports Show again, and we thank you for being with us. Again, we're live here at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabeth. And Lori, since we got here, has been busy. And that's what we like, and that's the name of the game. But if you're looking for softball bats, if you're looking for softball uniforms, baseball uniforms, trophies, need something silk screen, they've got all that here. It really is your one-stop shop. You can get your bats here, and get your you can order your gloves through here, and get your shoes through here. You can certainly get your trophies through here. They got a whole wall, and I'm not lying to you, a whole wall, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections, and these sections are about, probably 3 feet long, so that's 15 feet of nothing but trophies, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shelves per bookcase or cabinet or case, I guess. So, point being, there is a ton, and I would dare say there's not anything you come in and need to order they wouldn't have for you. I see soldiers over there for a military-type trophy. Certainly, you run the gamut of soccer, volleyball, football, tennis, softball, golf, and all the obvious sports, volleyball. And then they have some unique. There's a guy over there that's shooting a gun. So if you have some kind of a, sharpshooting or turkey shoot or whatever you need some trophies for, all that's here. And so it's a one-stop shop here in downtown Elizabethton, and Brumit Sports been here for over 70 years, and they do a phenomenal job. I love coming over here and broadcasting live with Lori and the folks here at Brumit Sports. So if you are looking for a place to take care of your softball needs, and again, as I said earlier in the show, don't wait to the last minute. Here it is, January. Well, I'll get to it in the weather breaks, February or March. No, because everybody else will too. So don't procrastinate. Come in early now. Order early now and get it out of the way and get it ordered and get it in. That way you don't have to worry about it. Once it's ordered, you've got it. You don't have to sweat it. Nothing worse than coming in and going, I need this, and this. We're back ordered, or we're backlogged, or we've had a big run for that particular type of uniform or ball cap, and we can't get it for you. So don't let that happen to you. Again, don't procrastinate. Stop by here or give her a call and talk to Lori and get it set up and ready to go here at Brumit Sports in Elizabeth. And that's where we are broadcasting live. We'll take a break, come right back. We have lots of college basketball, pro basketball, big night tomorrow night in high school basketball, Tuesday, Friday. We're in conference play now, and the schedule is set and running every day and every week. So 'tis the season to get a lot of basketball in. And so we'll tell you all about that coming up as we're live at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabeth. And tomorrow will be the American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City. We'll take a break. We'll be right back from Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabeth and on AM 790 WETB and also live on Facebook. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Yeah. I got to get... This drives me nuts. All right, Facebook Live. Thank you again. I apologize for keep wiggling the camera. That's on me, and I got to fix this. And so we're just going to leave it like that. And so Facebook Live again. Go to the Tom Taylor Sports, TomTaylorSports.com, your one-stop shop. And again, like us and share us, and we appreciate that very, very much. And so can't thank you enough for the response we've had already. So we're looking forward to continue to grow this show. We've got an announcement we'll let you know a little bit later in the week about something's getting ready to happen, which is pretty cool in a national scope. But again, for now, we'll just keep that under wraps, and we'll get back to you here in just a second on Facebook Live here on the show, and also on AM 790 WETB. Okay. Once we get rolling, just let Sweet Georgia Brown roll. Just keep looping it, because I got a lot to talk about basketball. What time is it, by the way? Let's set our timer.
12 minutes right now.
Okay. We'll probably do this to the top of the hour, and then top of the hour we'll switch and we'll come out and do the NASCAR thing. So, all right. I'm a perfectionist. Let's try this one more time. Let's see if we can get, this drives me bananas. Let's see if we can put this up here and tilt that down like that. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show again live. We're at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton on AM 790 WETB. We thank you for being with us. Also on Facebook Live literally around the world is where you can see us and hear us. And also on WETB790.com. We're streaming audio there. And so we're everywhere. And again, we're also on TuneIn Radio. And so we thank you for being with us. How about a little college basketball? How about our basketball segment? NBA, college basketball, high school basketball tomorrow night. Let's see what we got. There we go. Can't start to hear Sweet Georgia Brown. It's just how it rolls, man. It's how it rolls. So here we go. Top 25 from last night. Number 222 Xavier. The Musketeers, an 86-75 winner over Georgetown last night. Tonight, top 25 basketball. The 18th ranked Duke Blue Devils at 15-4, playing host to North Carolina State, 13-7 in Durham. Also tonight, 4th ranked Gonzaga, undefeated at 19-0. They will be on the road against Portland. On paper, should be a blowout. Gonzaga 19-0. You play them on the floor, and Lori will tell you that from her days of playing basketball. So that's what's going on tonight. On top, Seminoles, North Carolina, Notre Dame, also the conference standings. In the Big 12, it's Kansas, Baylor, and then West Virginia, Kansas State, and Iowa State in the three-way tie. But Kansas on top and undefeated at 7-0 in the Big 12. In the Big East right now, Villanova, the defending national champions, the Wildcats at 7-1, Butler at 6-2 in the conference, in the Big East Conference. In the Big 10 college basketball standings right now, you've got Maryland and Wisconsin on top at 5-1, Purdue and Northwestern at 5-2. Then in Conference USA, Middle Tennessee at 7-0, the Blue Raiders out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, the number one team in Conference USA. My Thundering Herd, by the way, are currently tied for third with University of Alabama, Birmingham. Pac-12, number one team right now, Oregon and Arizona both at 7-0. Southeastern Conference, the showdown on Saturday between South Carolina and Kentucky. It was a blowout by the Wildcats, 85-69. They showed who was boss. By the way, Kentucky plays at Tennessee tomorrow night at Thompson Bowling Arena. And a 9 o'clock tip-off tomorrow night between Rick Barnes' Volunteers and the Kentucky Wildcats of John Calipari. Tomorrow night in Knoxville, the Wildcats come to town. Southern Conference, number one team is UNC Greensboro at 7-1. Chattanooga at 6-1. Furman and East Tennessee State tied for third currently at 5-2. Bucks won yesterday 79-72 as they defeat the Wofford Terriers by 7 at Freedom Hall in front of 4,000 fans. Not a sellout, but a pretty good Saturday or the Sunday afternoon crowd. And so they were led by TJ. Actually, Bradford had 17. Merriweather had ears. Cromer City. Warlick, and it really wasn't even close. They manhandled at Thompson Bowling Arena. Needed trying to tournament time and trying to get things ready to go for this basketball program. for the Lady Vols of Holly Warlick, who now improved to 12-7, 3-3 against the Lady Commodores in Knoxville. They are 32-0 against Vanderbilt. Wow. The Lady Commodores go back to Nashville 0-7 in the conference and 10-10 overall for the Lady Doors, as they call them, from Nashville. On the men's side, again, it was Seth Allen scoring 17 points in the second half as Virginia Tech held off Clemson, sending Clemson to their sixth straight loss in the ACC. Hokies improved to 15-4 and 4-3 in the Atlantic Coast Conference. So big win for the Hokies on the road at Clemson yesterday. I don't know if you've seen in fact, I shared it from my Facebook, on my personal Facebook last week. Buzz Williams, the coach of Virginia Tech. His basketball players back early in the season, in his humble opinion, had shown disrespect for the national anthem, which really made him mad. So what Buzz Williams did, he brought in, you need to go check this. I was trying to, you can go to my personal Facebook, it's there, and look up this 3 or 4 minute. He addresses the basketball players on this video, and then he brings in all these retired military guys, and this is at a practice session. You can see Castle Coliseum is empty, and he brings them in and lines up these retired military folks, and the basketball players got he didn't chew on them, he just got a lecture, said, this is why we stand at attention for what these guys did and ladies did to protect our freedoms. And so when it was all said and done, they played the national anthem again, and you saw some of the players with tears run down their cheeks, and they were singing along with the national anthem, standing side by side, shoulder to shoulder, with the retired military folks that Coach Williams brought into the practice. So for my money, I've become a big fan of Buzz Williams simply because of what he did there to, again, instill a little patriotism into some folks that need a little patriotism instilled, and I get that. It's okay. So, if you don't know, and then once you're taught, you don't know, and you're taught, and you still don't know what he was talking, being Buzz Williams, the coach of the Virginia Tech Hokies. Tom Taylor Sports Show. Let's take a look now at the NBA from yesterday. Golden State by 20 over Orlando. Phoenix wins by 12 at Toronto last night. The Mavericks blow out the Lakers. Hate that for them. The Lakers, their worst loss ever in their franchise history. They lost by 49 points, 112-73. Got blown. It goes like this: Washington at Charlotte. You've got Golden State at Miami. The Lake, Houston, Milwaukee. Will be at Sullivan Central. Tennessee High at Viking Albany. Elizabethton will be at Sullivan North. And Happy Valley at Johnson County tomorrow night. And then in Southwest Virginia, Rye Cove at Thomas Walker. City at Ridgeview. Twin Springs at J.I. Burton. And also game tonight involving Virginians tonight, both guys and girls action. And we'll let you know who wins those games tomorrow here on the show. So that's a look at basketball. Again, the Buccaneers of East Tennessee State, big win in front of over 4,000. Congratulations to those two. And again, you have a chance for 60-0 in the regular season and 9-0 in the 3 conference tournament. Never lost an American Athletic Conference game. Wow. So anyway, big win for the UConn ladies in Connecticut over Tulane. Again, UConn now 18-0 and 6-0 in the conference, and so they continue to pile up the consecutive big win last night, as we said, against the Lady Green Wave of Tulane University. We are live here at Brumit Sports, again, your softball and baseball headquarters in downtown Elizabeth. And again, it's not that far away, and you know that. Warm weather is going to be coming here. Practices and tryouts start, so get a jump on everybody else by ordering your uniforms. Again, either practice tees or actual uniforms. You need them engraved or silk screened, they can do that right here. And then once the season's over, you're looking for trophies, they certainly can do top shop, anything you're going to need. And behind us here on the wall, you can see on Facebook, batting gloves. Also, you've got a whole wall of socks back of this way. All kinds of different colored socks. This is one part of the store here, again, at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton. So we appreciate them very much being with us here, allowing us to come broadcast here at Lori's store again at Brumit Sports. Again, been here for over 70 years in downtown Elizabethton, and it really is a throwback to the old days. And for me, and for my money, it is a very cool place to come back in here. It's very, it is what it is. It's just a relic, I guess is how you put it. It's just really, really cool place. I know that sounds kind of sappy and syrupy, but really it's a throwback to the old days. It hasn't changed. The equipment, of course, has changed. They got all the modern things for sale, but the building and the store itself, there's a poster of Larry Bird. How long has Larry Bird been out of basketball? picture of Larry Bird is known of Shaq over there when he played with the Orlando Magic back in the day. So some really cool posters and pictures in here. Here's a huge yard card of Texas Terry Labonte driving the Kellogg's Cornflakes, number 5. So it really is a throwback to the old days. And bottom line is they give you great customer service. And we appreciate her very much, Lori Wilson and the folks here at Brumit Sports. Top of the hour, we'll take a break. We'll be right back. Coming up an hour from now, Charles Stanley here, the In Touch program. You're listening to WETB AM 790, Johnson City, Kingsport, Bristol. We'll come back and talk NASCAR. The Hall of Fame inductees. We'll hear from Mark Martin and Richard Childress coming up next here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on the road to Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton on AM 790 WETB and also on Facebook Live. Well, thank you. Thank you. Okay, we got this out of the way. Okay, what do we got? Got college football. Got that right here. And put that there. Okay, we want to do a NASCAR segment. Hello again, Facebook folks. Get to watch us behind the scenes here operating. So that could be good, could be not so good, I guess, how you look at it. So, but we think it's pretty cool. So. And again, I apologize moving that camera around so much, herking and jerking, but trying to find a place that'll work. So here's the Hall of Fame inductees. So, you want let's set our timer here. Trying to hurry. Got it. All right. 542. Gosh, what is her number? 542-2321, I believe it is. Hey, Glenn. Huh? Thank you, sir, very much. Thanks for being with us back live. Again, we're at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabeth, and 542-2321, the number to call. So if you've got any kind of questions about trophies and plaques and uniforms and ball caps and socks and sweatbands and whatever you need to outfit your softball, and we keep saying softball, baseball, but certainly you need basketball shorts. I mean, there's a whole rack of basketballs, the Misaki basketball line they carry here, Easton bats. Again, the list just goes on. They got football helmets, of course, off season for football, but just kind of plant that seed. But really and truly, if you have a plaque need or a trophy need, they've got them here again at Brumit Sports in Elizabethton, and we certainly appreciate them allowing us to come over and hang out with them. It's a lot of fun, and again, they're open 6 days a week, closed on Sundays, of course. And so 542-2321, the number to call. Before you get ready to order online, be loyal and buy local. Order it locally, please, and keep our folks working here at Brumit Sports and any store in the Tri-Cities. Be loyal and buy local. But before you get ready to order something online or wherever you do it previously, shop these folks. Give them a chance. 542-2321. And again, they do a phenomenal job. And as I said, I got some shirts printed myself here for the show. They're going to start wearing them out on the road. Tomorrow will be the American Import and Auto Repair, so I dare say I'll have on one of the Tom Taylor Sports Show shirts tomorrow and have it on when we're going to be there live at Chick-fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. We will get into the NASCAR news coming up here in just Hockey League from last night. Nashville, the Predators double up the Warsburg Nets, two goals for Nashville rather. The Rangers shut out the Jackets in 7-6. Blackhawks double up Vancouver 4-5-1 winners over Boston, and the Flyers skate past the Islanders 3-2 in the National Hockey League. Coming up for tonight on the ice, Carolina at Washington. Los Angeles skates in New York against the Rangers. The Maple Leafs at home against Calgary. Anaheim skates in Winnipeg. Florida at Arizona. And the Sharks will be in Colorado to skate against the Avalanche coming up tonight as well. Tomorrow night, Nashville back home in the Gaylord Arena. They're hosting the Buffalo Sabres tomorrow night on the ice in Nashville tomorrow night. Ben Foy, NASCAR, my friend. You're a big NASCAR fan, as I am as well. We're 88 days from Bristol Race Weekend and the high banks of Bristol Motor Speedway. And again, overlooked into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Do you see any of the ceremony on Friday night from Charlotte?
No, I didn't get to see any of that, but I am so happy that Benny Parsons, the whole thing, he was a friend. We weren't real close or anything like that, but we knew each other. And stories about Parsons, I can tell you.
NASCAR Premier Series Championship in one of the most dramatic fashions in the series history. Parsons could be called an everyman champion, winning enough to be called one of the sports stars, but nearly always finishing well when he wasn't able to reach victory lane, so guy was consistent to say the least. Benny Parsons. Also Raymond Parks, one of Stock Car's earliest racing and most successful team owners. And of course, he, back in the day, career stock car owner, 1938, began his career as an owner with drivers Lloyd C. and Roy Hall. And so he only competed in 4 seasons in 49, 50, 54, and 55, but again, had a heck of a run as owner in NASCAR. Then you move up to the modern day era. You have 2 owners. Of course, Rick Hendrick, the founder and owner of Hendrick Motorsports. Rick Hendrick's organization, one of NASCAR's most successful. A longtime racing enthusiast and driver himself. He's owned drag racing boat teams that won 3 championships before founding All-Star Racing, the team that would evolve into Hendrick Motorsports in 1984. He owns an all-time record 12 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series owner championship titles. A lot of those, of course, with Jimmy Johnson, but nonetheless, he's got championships under his belt big time, Rick Hendrick. Also, Richard Childress, about to hear from him coming up here in just a second. Long before he became one of the preeminent car owners in NASCAR, Richard Childress himself was a race car driver. Still, he had limited means to do it, but he still persevered, which is what you do when you purchase your first race car for $20 at the age of 17. That's pretty cool. A race car, an entire car for $20. How about that? I guess he's a wheel. 1972, he would hire. The rest, of course, is he was an okay driver, but he Childress. In fact, here's our first audio soundbite of the show. Question was posed to Richard Childress and says, I thought this was pretty cool. You once told the late Dale Earnhardt Sr. you were not ready to race him at that point, to hire him as a race car driver. He should have to get some experience. And again, the question's posed. Tell us more about that. And Richard Childress had this to say on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Late Dale Earnhardt Sr. conversation, of course, or talk about him, I should say, with Richard Childress. And so now he's got these grandsons. And, of course, it was interesting as I heard the entire interview the other night that, you know, his grandsons, Austin and Ty Dillon, said sometimes he's wearing his fun. He says they both said, you know, our grandfather says at the end of the day, life's too short. Have fun with what you're doing. Of course, he expects us to win, and we want to win for him. But he also says, guys, are boy fun. So there you go. The Dillon brothers, Ty and Austin, driving for their grandfather now. Richard Childress, who got inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame over the weekend, and ceremonies at the Hall of Fame in Charlotte, North Carolina. Ben Foy, give me your thoughts about Mark Martin. This guy, again, he's done it for so many years and done it well. Give us your thoughts. You're a big NASCAR guy on Mark Martin.
I just think Martin's one of those people that came along at just the right time. I mean, he moved out here and paid his dues, and Jack Roush was a mentor to so many people, not just on the Roush team, but he was a great got a great eye for talent, and was a good mentor to bring a lot of people along. And he's just a nice person.
Very, very nice person, very driven. Here's his numbers, by the way. 17th in all-time wins in NASCAR with 40 wins, 40 trips into victory lane, if you will. He had 61 runner-ups in races throughout his career. So a guy 140 finished second 61 times, 7th in all-time on poles with 56, and a lot of those were at Bristol Motor Speedway, as a matter of fact. He finished second in the standings 5 times. So he, I guess, could be considered one of the greatest drivers that never won a championship. Finished second in the standings 5 different times. You know it's got to be frustrating.
Well, to win 40 races and never win a championship, that in itself tells you how good the guy was. I mean, he was just, just a few points away multiple times.
Here is Mark. We're so competitive. Mark Martin, what got the juices flowing? He had this to say. Interesting. Here is NASCAR driver Mark. His storied career, again, 40 for particular races, 56 times. Fame this past weekend, again, at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And again, as we said, the other class members going in, Rick Parsons. Here is, by the way, the class, Richard Petty in the first class. 2011, Bobby Allison, Ned Jarrett, Bud Moore, David Pearson, Lee Petty. 2012, Richie Evans, Dale Inman, Darrell Waltrip, Glenn Willis, Leonard Wood. Class of 2014, 16, Jerry Cook, Bobby Isaac, Terry Labonte, Bruden Smith, Curtis Turner. Again, this year, Benny Parsons, range to be in that's not in right now. Should be one of the pioneers that we rattle off a lot of the great names, but who do you feel like should be in that's not in right now? What about Davey Allison, the late Kowicki? Okay. So we put Rusty in class 2000 and Rick Hendrick. Tom Taylor Sports Show again here at Brumit Sports in Elizabethton. 5 is the number to call. Baseball uniforms, softball uniforms, printed and embroidered, and go either way. Baseball equipment, softball equipment, gloves, catcher's gear. Lori, what?
Shampoo, gloves, is that pretty much? Yeah.
Easton. Churches, corporate awards, team T-shirts. They got pullovers. They have hoodies. They got beanies. They got headbands for spring sports. And one of the big ones is Letterman jackets. The kids still wear them and wear them with pride. Did you have one when you had your big? Did you have one?
I never we. I was in the high school band.
We get 50 in the first 10.
This will come as a surprise to you, but the high school I went to started with an N up in West Virginia. They what? You want me to take that home and sew that for you? I said, can you? Well, yeah, we can do that. Sure, we can do that. So, ain't good. So, but I only did that once, though. But yeah, I had a young lady took right way and sewed it on, and I got a pan of brownies out of the deal. So there you go. Oh, it's all about food. So did not. So, but I know where she's at now. So, anyway, Letterman jackets. They've got those. Also pullovers and hoodies and beanies and headbands for spring sports here at Brumit's. Team T-shirts. Again, we keep talking softball and baseball, but again, if you've got a basketball team or a volleyball, because that's what's coming up next on the spring sports calendar, but again, they can get you T-shirts for anything you need. And again, with the plaques and trophies and medals, school or club teams, churches, corporate awards, you want it, they can get it for you. Again, baseball uniforms and softball uniforms, printed and embroidered, they can get that for you. They do a lot of embroidery here. Baseball equipment. Yes, exactly. Yep, you're exactly right. Or any kind of event you got coming up, not just a sporting event, but if you got some kind of I know in the springtime we have a lot of walks, a lot of corporate walks, be it for the March of Dimes or whatever. And so if you're looking for something for that or some T-shirts for your church, I know churches like to get their to wear polos now with their church stitched or embroidered on the shirt. So really, it's up to your imagination. I mean, the sky's the limit. Printing and embroidery here, and again, on anything. But again, sports-wise, it's baseball and softball uniforms heading into the season. Here again at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton at 542-2321, and they're open 6 days a week. Before we go to the break, if you're a hunter person right now, here's what's out there. You can harvest in the woods of Tennessee through the end of February. It is rabbit season now, a bag limit of 5 per day. It is quail season right now till February the 28th, a bag limit of 6 per day. And Wilson snipe season's out there as well. Through the end of February, a bag limit for those is 8 per day. Quail 6 per day and rabbit 5 per day. Now, the Go Outdoors Tennessee Web Fishing and Hunting licenses and permits, you can go there to tnwildlife.org and find out everything you need to know. Getting ready to go to the boating season right around the corner. You need to have your boat registered. Or if you bought a boat, need to have it registered. You can go there as well. So it really is your one-stop shop for an outdoor person. tnwildlife.org. And again, you can get your hunting and fishing licenses there to either get them renewed, to register your boat, to manage your boat, watercraft registrations, all that right there. One stop. tnwildlife.org. And our dear friend David Crum will be back with us soon, the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency officer. And we appreciate him very, very much. Before we go to the break, again, one of our great sponsors here on the show at Food City will be there this Friday. It's a Midnight Madness sale coming up Friday night, or all day Friday. And we'll be live at Food City and Gray to help kick that off on Friday's show. Here are some of the specials through close of store tomorrow night around all food cities. Blueberries or strawberries, 16-ounce dry pine, buy one, get one free at Food City. Harvest Club russet potatoes, 10-pound bag, buy one, get one free. Also, again, at Food City, if you're a connoisseur of coffee, Food Club coffee, buy one, get one free through tomorrow night. Also, extra soft bath tissue or Scott paper towels, buy one, get one free. Also, Mayfield ice cream through tomorrow night, buy one, get one free. Some great specials going on at Food City right now. The buy one, get ones are in full force through tomorrow night. Here's a few more here. Food Club toaster pastries, buy one, get one free. Also, Food Club apple juice, 64-ounce bottle, buy one, get one free. Food Club Skillet Classics, buy one, get one free. Food Club cereal, took advantage of that last night, loaded up and buy one, get one. And also, if you're a salad maker at home, like to make your own salads, here is red ripe grape tomatoes, dry pint, little ping pong size tomatoes, buy one, get one free through tomorrow night. And a couple of more to pass on to you. Food Club vanilla wafers, buy one, get one free. Sandwich bread or hamburger hot dog buns, again, 20-ounce loaf of bread or hamburger hot dog buns, buy one, get one free. Broadcast live from Brumit Sports in Elizabethton, AM 790 WETB. All right, Facebook Live, folks, again, thank you for being with us. And we are, again, asking you to go to our new website, TomTaylorSports.com, sign up for the email newsletter. Be sure to like us and share us. Again, and you have been, and we appreciate that. And go there, and you can click on listen to the station live 24/7, not just when I'm on the air. And also, you can go there and listen or go to Facebook Live and listen to what's going on here, of course, every day. Or you can go in there and click on the radio station button and listen live 24/7 there. And, of course, great Christian programming, great Christian music, bluegrass Christian, or bluegrass gospel, I should say, and great gospel music. And so some great teaching and preaching. Case in point, Charles Stanley comes up at the top of the hour in about, 35 minutes. So it's all good, and I would encourage you to do that, and you have, and so we thank you for that. Do want to give a shout-out to Appalachian Digital, our dear friends Michael Smith and Jeremiah Clark. They do a great job, and we appreciate them as well. And so we couldn't do it without them. And, of course, Ben Foy, our producer extraordinaire. So we'll come back here in a few minutes, ready to go with a segment on college football coming up here in just a few minutes here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. You want to do the championship music?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do the bumper, and then come out the bumper, I'll do the championship music, and I'll talk about the touchdown.
Gotcha. There you go. Caller number 2. You heard the touchstones. Light us up. Again, 1 entry per household, but call us and get qualified. Why would you not? 929-7900. You get to choose any barter theater production you want to go to. You pick it. Whether it's Christmas time later on this year for White Christmas, or in the middle of the summer with The Sound of Music, the Rodgers and Hammerstein production, or Ain't Misbehaving, the music and words and music in the life of Fats Waller. Also, Midsummer Night's Dream, the Shakespeare comedy, if you're into Shakespeare. All that available, again, by you calling, getting qualified. Plus, going to send you to Abington to the Rain Restaurant. So you can get to see the Barter Stage, or Barter Theater main stage, and also the Rain Restaurant evening. It's right around a $200 value, absolutely free. All you got to do is get qualified. Do that right now. Call number 2 at 929-7900, and we'll see who gets qualified. And again, we'll give it away on Friday, February the 17th. So, can't beat it. And again, that's going on right now. Caller number 2. Put Ben to work and give him a buzz wherever you are, whether you're on Facebook watching and listening, or again, if you're listening across 20 counties here on AM 790, give him a call, 423-929-7900, and get qualified to win an evening in Abington. Compliments of Dr. Barry Walton from Max Medicine Mart in Kingsport. College football, Auburn's got their man back. Gus Malzahn has found his replacement for offensive coordinator Rhett Lashley, bringing Arizona State offensive coordinator Chip Lindsey back to Auburn as the Tigers' new play caller. Lindsey, 42 years old. Again, Malzahn brought Lindsey in at Auburn back in 2013 as an offensive analyst, the season of the BCS title game run. After that, he was hired away by Southern Mississippi first and then picked up by Arizona State. He is coming back home is Chip Lindsey, the new offensive coordinator coming over from Arizona State to come back home, in his the way he phrased it, coming back home to be the offensive coordinator at Auburn University in Auburn, Alabama. Speaking of Alabama, Mike Locksley. Mike Locksley will be the co-offensive coordinator at Alabama. The 47-year-old Locksley, who had been an offensive coordinator at Illinois and Maryland, was elevated from an analyst role with the Tide. At Maryland, Locksley's 2013 offense eclipsed 5,000 yards of total offense for only the 4th time in program history. And Maryland averaged the most points in the past 4 seasons, so this guy can do it. He was an analyst with the Tide this past year. Long considered one of the nation's coaching offers to. So I'm not sure what an analyst is. Either a coordinator, but again, they've said that's their title, and so now he is co-offensive coordinator. So some upheaval continues as Lane Kiffin, long gone now at Florida Atlantic, but Sarkisian and now Mike Locksley will be co-offensive coordinators at Alabama. So it's going to be a two-headed monster on the offensive side of the ball for the Crimson Tide of Nick Saban. Also, quarterback jaded and getting new offensive coordinators played into his decision to come back for his final year of eligibility. Chicago Tribune's Silver Football Awards, the Big Ten's best game struggles, culminated Ed Warner and Tim Beck and replaced him with 10 days. So those are the new co-offensive coordinators. Looks like that's the new trend in college football to have co-offensive coordinators. And so that is the case at Ohio. So I'm going to come back for my senior season at Ohio State. University of Oregon says the football co-offensive coordinator will be fired after his arrest on suspicion of DUI, marking the latest problem for the team. The school said in a statement on Sunday that David Reeves has been placed on unemployment has started. Oregon announcing the hiring. They hired him just last Tuesday. Wow. Police in the city of Eugene arrested Reeves, offensive coordinator. He's only been there for a week. And so David Reeves, again, pulled over and charged with the defensive coordinator at the University of Oregon. Told you last week, University of Tennessee in the final stages of selecting a firm to help conduct its nationwide search to find a new athletic director. On that committee will include former Tennessee star Peyton Manning, also pilot owner. They got some heavy hitters on this selection committee for the athletic director. Once the firm has been selected, UT will provide a general timeline for the search and announce the members of a search committee. UT Athletic Director Dave Hart announced back in August he was retiring. Hart's retirement goes into effect on June 30th. Ben Foy, number one, who got qualified for the giveaway?
We didn't get a call.
Did not get a call. I'll be doggone. So that's somebody's loss. We'll try it again tomorrow. And so did not get a call. That's interesting. So anyway, we'll try it again tomorrow. And then question number 2 would be, and the obvious, is Philip Fulmer is this a vote of confidence or not a vote for confidence for him to go from, yes, I want the job last week, to they put together a search committee? Is that UT's way of getting off the hook because they're not going to hire the guy and they don't want to be the one that pulls the trigger? Manning and Jimmy Haslam, two of his big fans on the committee for this new athletic director. What's your take on that?
I'm not really sure how to take it. I mean, it could be a little bit either way. I don't know where they're coming from with this.
Nor do I, but I mean, at first I thought it was. First, I thought it was a negative towards Fulmer. Now I'm not so sure, but because you got Manning on there. And, of course, if Peyton steps up to the plate and says, I'll be on the advisory committee, and here's who we think should be, maybe he's not for Fulmer. I would think he would be since he played for him. But
Personally, I think it's just UT wasting money if they're going to get an outside firm.
yeah, I mean, if this is the guy you want, now he has no athletic administrative experience, granted, but it's like a lot of folks, they're smart enough to surround themselves with a lot of people who know what's going on. So if you're going to go that direction, just hire the guy and get it over with. And, of course, there's a lot of folks, again, trumping for this young man at Chattanooga, David Blackburn, who has done a great job as AD there. He's a UT guy. He wants to get back to UT. For a long time, it was a foregone conclusion he would get back to UT. Now I'm not so sure. But, again, somebody just step up and hire somebody. I mean, either one of those guys you can't go wrong with. Maybe somebody else out there. But I would have thought by now, as long as it's been sitting out there lingering, if there had been somebody else come up kind of out of the woodwork and step up and say, we want to be in the running for the UT athletic director position, you'd have thought by now somebody would have, voiced their interest in doing it. But all I hear is Philip Fulmer and David Blackburn, a young man out of Chattanooga. So if it's down to those two, hire one and let them put it in the contract that if we hire this one, then you got to hire, the guy that didn't get it. Let's put him on the staff too because they both want the job. So
I think Blackburn would come up.
that's half the battle. If you got somebody who wants the job, and these both are UT guys, obviously, then put them both on staff in different capacities, and everybody wins. But I'm sure it's a whole lot more complex than that. It sounds simple for me to sit here and say that sitting at Brumit Sports in Elizabethton, but I'm sure there's more to that. But anyway, that's what's going on with the athletic search firm at UT.
To me, you got to put the guy in there that's got athletic director experience. That's the way I look at it.
I would think so, but then I would also come back and argue that the face of Tennessee football, the last time we've had a pretty successful run was Philip Fulmer, that national championship. And of course, he got let go unceremoniously, but he has proven at East Tennessee State he can raise money, walking out and knocking on doors. Hi, I'm Philip Fulmer, and it's really benefited East Tennessee State to have him as an advisory for the resurgence of the football program. So the guy is, he's dynamic. That's what I would do. I'd say, okay, David, you're our guy because you've got the experience, but oh, by the way, part of the package is we want you to hire Coach Fulmer in some kind of capacity, PR or fundraising or something. And then if they go the other direction, Coach Fulmer, we want you. You have no athletic experience, but you got the PR face, if you will, for Tennessee football and Tennessee sports. And oh, by the way, part of your contract or part of your package, you're going to hire this guy, David Blackburn, to get him in there. Because let's face it, Fulmer may want to do a couple of years if he gets the job. He's not over the hill, but he's no spring chicken. He may want to work a couple of years and say, okay, let's pass the baton to somebody else, a young whippersnapper, which would be this young man out of Chattanooga. So a lot of variables, but the bottom line is they are ramping up their efforts to find an athletic director at UT because let's face it, June 30th is not that far away. You say, Tom, it's January, but we keep giving you countdowns. We're 88 days away from Bristol. So we'll look up, we're 345 days from Christmas. So you look up and June 30th will be here.
Things can change and neither one of them be available.
There you go. Or one may find out, after all this hoopla, particularly the guy in Chattanooga may say, I thought I was a front runner, now I'm not interested. So, yeah, things can change. Situations can change. Spouses can say, nah, we're not going down this road. There's all kinds of variables. So they ought to strike with the iron's hot, and the folks who are interested in being the athletic director need to move, and not just for the individuals that are applying for the position, but for the athletic department. That's the whole bottom line, is to get somebody in there and create some stability, because right now Dave Hart is a lame duck athletic director. He still is doing day-to-day operations, but making the big hires that someone needs to do, You know, I think he's.
I don't know how much JD has to do with whether somebody will go to one school or another, but it has to put a question mark in people's minds as far as where they're going to go to school if the school's not solid on their AD department.
There you go. And it's almost like an AD that's, you know, city's leaving's kind of operating with one arm tied behind his back. So anyway, that's what's going on at UT, and Philip Former wants it. Young man out of Chattanooga wants it. And so the search has begun, and two of the power brokers on this search firm committee would include Peyton Manning and Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Pilot convenience stores, or not convenience stores, but truck stops. And so we'll see. But at least there is some movement in that. There hadn't been anything for a long time, so at least they got it going in the right direction to hire the replacement for Dave Hart. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're live here at Brumit Sports. Again, 542-2321, the number to call. Again, team T-shirts, pullovers, hoodies, beanies, headbands of your favorite high school team, or whatever you need it to be. As Ben said, if it's a, I don't know, pick a place, NFS and Irwin's want to get sweatshirts for their employees, or headbands, or hoodies, or pullovers, you can do that. I just pulled that name out of the hat. Letterman jackets, team T-shirts, plaques, trophies, medals for school or club teams, corporate awards, churches. They got all that here at Brumit's. And then baseball equipment, softball equipment. You got the gloves, the catcher's gear, certainly the baseballs and softballs and the bats. I'm looking at the big rack of Easton bats right here, right down in the store here from where I'm sitting here in the back of the store. Baseball equipment, gloves, catcher's gear, baseballs, bats. Again, you can see behind us here on the Facebook, if you're watching us there, this a whole row of socks and gloves, and there's weight training belts over here and belts for your softball and baseball uniforms. And over here on this side, you've got the packages of socks. And so it really is your one-stop shop. You can order uniforms here, have them printed or embroidered here. You can buy your equipment here. At the end of the season, buy your trophies, medals, and plaques here. You can buy your practice T-shirts or practice hoodies and pullovers and beanies and headbands here. And again, as we said, they also sell those hard-to-find Letterman jackets as well. So all that is right here at Brumit Sports. Been here for over 70 years. Again, in downtown Elizabethton, 542-2321 is the number to call. 20 before the hour on this show, number 442. Don't forget tomorrow morning, again, the general store, as we told you earlier, 9 o'clock. It is, when you say general store, goodness gracious, just today, as we said earlier, someone called in with 6 Holstein steers for sale, an international dump truck. Someone called in with a house for rent in Greenville, a Dodge pickup truck, a John boat trailer. Someone had a living room suite and sofa bed for sale. Someone had some Coleman lanterns for sale. A guy called in with some lawnmower transaxles. What is a lawnmower transaxle, Ben Voy?
That's for a riding mower. It's the axle. It's where everything connects back. That's the transaxle for it. It's got the transmission. It's got the axle. Everything built in there together.
There you go. So
If you're in the business of repairing them and stuff like that, or you've got one that you want to try to fix yourself, that's one of the pieces that goes out. That and the motor are the two things basically that breaks on a riding lawnmower.
there you go. So what are the odds? I mean, how many times you listen to a general store, somebody calls in with lawnmower transaxles? So point being, you never know from call to call what's going to come in, and Ben takes the calls, and so he does a great job. It's every weekday morning, right around 9 o'clock, right here on AM 790, the general store. And how many calls you have today, did you say?
We had 46 calls today, that's counting the mailbag. Somebody called the other day and had 100 pounds of nails for sale.
Yep, I heard that. The young lady called in and said 100 pounds of nails. So you just never know. And then folks also call up looking for things. I know last week I was looking for some Pokemon card sets. So some folks, in case some kids outgrown them, and he was looking for Pokemon card sets. Another guy was looking for lawnmowers that didn't run, that he could fix them up. So it really is a cool show, and you just never know. So it's every weekday morning, the general store, right here on WETB. 18 before the hour, quick break. We'll come right back, and we'll take a look at the picking panel. Who won? We had 2 games to pick last week for a cherry pie from Food City, and who won? We'll tell you who did the picking panel. Somebody picked both New England and Atlanta. We'll tell you who did that and who won the free food on the picking panel. We do it just for kicks, and we'll have that coming up next here at 18 before the hour. We're live at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton on AM 790 WETB, also on Facebook Live. No, I know.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. You're exactly. The sun came up, and we keep on trucking. So, no.
I thought you had coach coming in, right?
Yeah, he didn't come in, but that's okay. We just
We play the national anthem.
nah. We don't. No, we're gonna. Let's see. Let's pull some stuff up right here. Okay.
Unless you need me to run another one.
No.
Time now.
All right.
Good, brother.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show will be live tomorrow night. American Import and Auto Repair, home of the free loaner car program, again on the West Market Street. We'll call it the old Jonesboro Highway, the new Jonesboro Highway. This is the new Jonesboro Highway, the 4-lane going into Jonesboro from Johnson City or vice versa. We'll be there tomorrow broadcasting live at American Import and Auto Repair. Wednesday we'll be at Chick-fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. Thursday at Champion Chevrolet. And then Friday we'll be at Food City and Gray to kick off the Midnight Madness sale coming up again on Friday to all Food Cities across the 106-store chain here in the region. Baseball news, the Braves agreeing to a one-year deal with veteran catcher Kurt Suzuki. Again, the 33-year-old Suzuki likely will share time behind the plate with returning starter Tyler Flowers. Atlanta also has Anthony Recker, who was Flowers' backup last season. Suzuki, last 3 years with Minnesota, hit .258, 8 homers, 49 runs driven in. He has a career batting average of .256, made his major league debut with Oakland in 2007 and played for Washington for the Nationals in 12 and 13. Last year again with Minnesota, so he's on his fourth team now. He'll be with the Atlanta Braves. Again, Kurt Suzuki, the veteran catcher, signing a one-year deal to catch behind the plate for the Atlanta Braves coming up for the 2017 season. 88 days till we get ready for Bristol Motor Speedway. Again, what's the name of that? Let me see that plaque right there. Let's see who you just... Here is a plaque. There's one going out to Netco, the Netco Food Festival. Marketing partner, again, Mayfield Dairy Farms. And so there's a whole box of plaques, and there's another one's going out to, I mean, they got all kinds of plaques down through here on the side. Here's another one that's going out to Brett Standifer, quarterbacks. And so here's a picture. This is apparently the Elizabethan football banquet.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think they know about those.
and they don't know about those. Okay, so there is, we know about that one. Here is All Conference, Russell Carter. And so good stuff. Football banquet coming up for the Elizabethan Cyclone football team. And so you guys did those. And we're not telling more. Lori we may get shot by Lori because we may be letting out some prizes or some awards these guys don't know they're getting. So, shh. What old shit to say on the Hogan's Heroes? $49. Again, for race weekend coming up. The race weekend and certainly the Food City 500, all that starts at just $89 for the spring weekend. With kids, just $10 tickets. Adult tickets for the Food City 500 only, starting at $59. If you just can get to the Food City 500 only, those tickets starting at $59. Kids 12 and under now only $10 to get to the big race on Sunday, April the 23rd. On the 22nd, on that Saturday, the Fitzgerald Glider Kids 300. Eric Jones back in to defend his crown in that race. That starts at just $35. Kids 12 and under get in free. And then Bush's Bean Friday the 21st. And again, kids are free on that day. So that's the spring weekend package. The night race weekend, the Bass Pro Shop NRA night race. The ball cap we got on here. The Bass Pro Shop NRA night race. Again, those tickets start at $99 for the fall race weekend in August at Bristol Motor Speedway. So the bottom line is simply call them at 423-BRISTOL or go to BristolTix.com and check out for yourself how you can order the tickets, or you can call them, and they've got folks sitting there ready to go, and the phone's been ringing already. A lot of interest in the racing packages at Bristol Motor Speedway for 2017. So again, 423 Bristol. Got a live body on the other end. We'll sit down and talk to you and kind of get creative. Well, I want to come to this race and that race over there, and I may not be able to come to everything this year, or I couldn't last year. Now this year I want to come to everything. So it's all on what you want to do, and they're very, very creative in getting you the packages you want to get you to the world's fastest half mile coming up. Again, as we said, in 88 days, it's race weekend at Bristol Motor Speedway, and it'll, as you well know, Ben Foy, it'll be here before you know it. I'm telling you. It is right around the corner. Tom Taylor Sports Show. Got about 11 minutes left here in the show. We're live at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabethton. One of our great sponsors, the good folks, again, at Book Lovers Warehouse in Johnson City. A 6,000 square foot used bookstore, and they've got every known category you can possibly think of. They have comic books there. They've got books in Spanish you can go in and purchase. They got a great homeschool section there at Book Lovers Warehouse, right beside Harbor Freight Tools. Again, on the new Jonesboro Highway or West Market Street, coming out of Johnson City, right beside Harbor Freight Tools. Here are some of the books they've got in the sports section. They've got books on Pistol Pete, Tony Romo, Bobby Bowden, Tim Tebow, Mickey Mantle, Reggie Jackson. They got books on Carl Yastrzemski and the Boston Red Sox run in 1967. They've got Where Football is King, The History of the Southeastern Conference, a great read. They've also got books, NASCAR coffee table books, huge hardback books on Jimmy Johnson. It says A Desert Rat Races to Riches. That's the name of the book on Jimmy Johnson, A Desert Rat. I don't know if he appreciates that or not. They've also got books on Payne Stewart, Arnold Palmer, golfing for dummies. They've also got books on how to improve your bowling game, billiards, volleyball, how to, again, purchase the right kayak to go canoeing. All this, again, at Book Lovers Warehouse in Johnson City, right beside Harbor Freight Tools. Also, they have a big section on Civil War. Or actually, they do have a section on Civil War. They also got a book called The Ultimate Civil War, the Army-Navy series, which is pretty cool. All this, again, at Book Lovers Warehouse, open 7 days a week. Also, they have a great selection of DVDs, VHS tapes, cassettes, DVDs, CDs. They got all that. It's a used bookstore, all that under one roof. It's a 6,000 square foot used bookstore in Johnson City, right beside Harbor Freight Tools, in between Johnson City and Jonesboro. And so that's one of our great sponsors, Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse, and we certainly appreciate them very much being with us here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're live for.
It is rightly named the warehouse because I've been in there myself, and I couldn't believe it.
No.
I mean, shelf after shelf after shelf. And it's laid out pretty well, and if you don't know where everything is, people that know where it is, they help you out right away.
Oh yeah, there's markings in there as far as signage, not markings, but signage saying, here's Civil War, here's a whole section on presidential biographies, there's one in movies, there's one on music. They also sell, and this is a big thing this time of year, they sell a ton of albums. And reason being, for Valentine's Day, that special album for that special someone, maybe the first one you stole a kiss on some song you was watching or on an album listening to. And so you can buy the albums again at Book Lovers Warehouse. Oh, yeah, go ahead. You're fine. Book Lovers Warehouse in Johnson City. And, again, go to the places that sell these album frames. That way you can have it wrapped, or frame it and wrap it and give it to that special someone to hang on the wall, that favorite song. Again, what was an early album that you liked of a when you went courting that you liked? Was it the Beatles? Was it country? What did you like?
I like Three Dog Night. They were one of my favorites.
Wow.
The Usual Suspects. I like the Beatles. Yeah, I like them a lot too. Rolling Stones. I guess Three Dog Night was probably one of my favorites.
Wow. I haven't heard that in a long, long time. I had an album called Three Dog Night Live at the.
Love that album.
Oh yeah, Eli's Coming and One. Remember the song One is the loneliest number and all that. So, wow.
I wore the 8-track out, buddy.
Yep, you got it. The Fabulous Forum in Los Angeles. So anyway, albums, and so Valentine, and they sell, if you're a lot of rock, a lot of jazz, a lot of soundtracks. If it's a particular movie you went to on your first date, you want the soundtrack signifying that first movie y'all in a long, long time. Back more time to the AFC Championship, NFC. In the outset of the show, Tom Brady just carved them up, but they didn't help their chance in the end zone. Coach dropped one and Hamilton dropped one. Again, the Patriots, I thought, was their goal line stand inside a 2 minutes field goal. Thought that was huge. Maybe the backbreaker of the ball game was the flea flicker when he flipped it, handed off to Lewis. Lewis hit the line scrimmage, stop, turned around, threw it back to Tom, and that crossing pattern to the awaiting Chris Hogan for the touchdown. I thought that really broke the back of the Steelers on the flea flicker, but certainly the goal line stand with the Patriot defense, that was pretty strong too, to say the least, to stop the Steelers at the goal line and couldn't punch it in, had to settle for a field goal. That's huge in that ball game.
That flea flicker kind of froze the defensive backfield because they thought it was a run, and it froze them. That gave the receivers time to get away.
There you go. And so on the other side of the coin, we talked earlier about the Packers and the fact that, again, young man fumbled that football for the Green Bay Packers, and that really opened the floodgates because it was a touchback. And after that, the Falcons went burning for it and went right down the field and scored, and they're up 17-0 and never looked back. So that would be Aaron Ripkowski coughing that ball up. First time he'd fumbled. He had never, ever fumbled, but he did it in the most inopportune time. And so instead of being a 10-10 ball game, you put that together with the fact that Crosby missed that field goal early for the Packers. It could have been 10-10. But, again, that touchback on that fumbled football in the end zone. And so because of that, they, as we said, go right down the field on an 80-yard touchdown drive after the touchback, starting at the 20. And they found themselves to the Packers in a hole 17-0 in a game that could have been very easily a 10-10 tie. But it wasn't. And, again, Super Bowl 51 lining up again. The Patriots right now are a 3-point favorite against the Atlanta Falcons. And I think Ben Foy ran for a barn burner 2 weeks from last night. It's going to be a great football game.
It is. I anticipate a fantastic football game. I mean, there's been some great ones over the years, and this, you know, just statistically, looks like it's going to be one.
You always say that, and I always say that, or we always say that, it's going to be a great ball game. And then more times than not, it's a blowout. But I really think with what Brady's bringing to the table and the Falcons, you know, I go back to the team speed. I mean, you got Coleman, and, you know, it's hard to defend speed. I mean, it's hard to coach against it, too. I mean, you got Coleman and Freeman, Julio Jones. I guess the guy who made some big catches for me watching him last night was Sanu, number 12. I thought and then Austin Hooper had a big game catching the ball, the wideouts for the Falcons. So it's more than just Julio Jones. Of course, he's a good one. And so his touchdown catch of 73 yards down the sideline and stiff-armed number 23 and just drove him into the turf. I thought, oh, baby, he put the hammer on him. So anyway, great ball games. And, again, looking forward to a big Super Bowl coming up, again, as we said, on Sunday, 2 weeks from yesterday. You got it. Hey, it's been a fast 2 hours. We're winding this thing down. We're live at Brumit Sports in downtown Elizabeth. And again, one more time to tell you, if you're looking for baseball or softball uniforms, printed and or embroidered, they can do that for you. They got baseball and softball equipment, gloves, catcher's gear, baseball, softballs, bats. They've got it all here. Again, at Brumit Sports. Been at it for over 70 years in downtown Elizabeth. Plaques and trophies and medals. Again, we just saw a corporate plaques. We were going out of here. A football banquet plaques are going out of here. School or club teams, churches, corporate awards, team T-shirts. Again, if you have a school, you want to have a printed or embroidered, probably printed on pullovers, but I guess it can go either way. For your favorite school, or a practice pullover for softball and baseball when it's cold outside. Pullovers, hoodies, beanies, headbands, got all that. For spring sports. And again, those hard-to-find Letterman jackets. I keep going back to that because those are still very popular. And they're hard to find. You got to order them online, but don't order them online. Be loyal, buy local. Order them right here in the Tri-Cities. If you're in the Tri-Cities at 542-2321 or within the sound of my voice, you can certainly call if you're out of the area. And a lot of folks are watching, listening on Facebook at 423-542-2321. Ask for Lori. And so she can help you, and they do a great job here. Obviously, if you've been in business for over 70 years, you're doing something right in any product category. In this case, sporting good. They do a great job. So we're going to wrap this thing up, get ready for Charles Stanley. Coming up tomorrow, we'll move on down the road to American Import and Auto Repair, the #1 Federated Auto Parts, rated #1 auto repair shop in America. And it's in between Johnson City and Jonesboro at American Import and Auto Repair. Home of the free loaner car program will be there, broadcasting live tomorrow. Wednesday will be at Chick-fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. Thursday, right back at Champion Chevrolet. Again, with Andy and Tim and the gang, a champion in the Bristol Motor Mile, along with David Harrison. Hello, David and the gang working there in the service department listening to us today. We appreciate that. And then also Friday, as we said, it'll be Midnight Madness at all Food Cities, and we'll be there to help kick it off at Food City in Gray on Friday with Big Daddy Dale Hammett. I told him where I'm not going to be broadcasting from this time around, in front of the frozen food section, and he laughed and said, I got you placed, big boy. So I may be on the roof Friday at Food City in Gray, but he's a jewel. He's a dandy. So we'll be there and looking forward to that. Again, thanks to our producer extraordinaire, Ben Foy. Thank you, my friend. And also, of course, our guest by audio, Richard Childress and Mark Martin from the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Out of time, we sincerely thank you for yours. And as always, we'll tell you, win or lose, be a good sport. We'll rejoin you tomorrow again at 11 o'clock for American Import and Auto Repair here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Coming up next on WETB will be the teaching and preaching of Charles Stanley. We'll see you tomorrow. So long, everybody, from Brumit Sports in Elizabethton. Well, let me finish up right here. Hey, Facebook folks, again, thank you. Again, go to TomTaylorSports.com, like us and share us, and you do, and we appreciate that. Had a couple little glitches here today. We're going to fix that by tomorrow, so we'll be back at 11 o'clock tomorrow at American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, and also our 5-minute sportscast tonight between 10 and 11 o'clock tonight, as we do every night, usually every night. Again, we'll do that between 10 and 11 from our studios at the Tom Taylor Sports Show. So have a great day. We'll see you tonight at